because your parents have gone through a certain field, they want you to take the same.
They
do not know there are better opportunities there.
Things have changed.
She did not like that. And that was the reason she was joining. She was in love with code. She wanted to build, and this girl has moved miles with coding. But we have looked for these developers and we can't find them.
No, but if they've gone through SoulTech and you've supported them, conceptualize, getting them ready for the market.
That is the point. It must be solving a painful problem. You have a problem and the end result of that problem must be painful. It is only paid for when I feel the pain.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast segment on sectors. Today we're lucky to have Solomon Opio, who is a leader. He is the founder of SoulTech, an academy. It is everything that is teaching the next generation developers in Uganda. And you know, we are not short of talent. Solomon is here to tell us what they do and what we can learn from them in achieving a middle-class economy. Welcome to the podcast, Solomon.
How are you? Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be part of this.
Yeah.
I really love to see young people growing. Anything around developing young people.
Yeah.
It may not stop at young people. We also have old people interested in learning and really open to sharing knowledge. And through the experience we have had for a long time, I believe someone out there needs to listen to help them build.
We recently had a lady called Primera. She mentioned on her podcast, there are quite a number of developers in Uganda. But for you now, who is in the ecosystem, what is the ecosystem like? What was it before? Help us understand that landscape.
All right. I'm going to take you back to a bit of, while we build community and basically building developers and having them get the knowledge, I will take you back to 2019. In fact, way before that, 2013. I want to start from 2013. I left the university. I graduated in 2014. But I started working with the community in 2013. That's when I joined a company called Outbox. And while I joined Outbox, there are so many things I learned. I started, now we happen to be the first lot of software engineering students in Makerere University. That means the first lot of software engineering students in Uganda, at least those who studied from Uganda. Back in those days, developers started coming up. One thing to believe as developers, the best way to learn is to get involved in community work.
Yes.
I joined Outbox. There is a focus on innovations, but also the focus on technique, basically building your skills. Now, it starts at a point where you are getting into the university, learning skills and theory. So software engineering took us into projects. We're doing a lot of projects, trying to build real-world solutions. When I left the university, a project we worked on as a team was a solid waste management system. This solid waste management system happened to be one that, if you were to look back, you'd see things around we have the spots in Kampala where rubbish is piled.
And they don't look nice.
They don't look nice. Now, I thought we could design a system where we could have a bin. When the bin gets full, it notifies KCCA. By then it was KCC, not the KCCA. The A was not part of the story. So we looked at coming up with a system that would solve the problem of that kind of nasty of the environment, keep Kampala clean. And I can tell you that when I joined Outbox, I happened to be going to one of the universities. That was Mbarara University. Every time I went to Mbarara University, I found a solid waste management system, which looked exactly like ours. If I asked you now...
Like your idea.
Yes, my idea. What we built, it was perfect, working, fantastic. If it gets to the mid-level, it notifies KCCA, the bin is about to get full. One excitement we had was working on embedded systems. It wasn't at the faculty then. With the introduction of software engineering, we had embedded systems development, dealing with hardware, sensors, signals blocked, it notifies. Many things we did not see What would stop the development of that? To cut it short, all these systems, if I ask you right now, how many? Now, I went to Mbarara University consecutively 3 years. Every year that I went there, in those 3 years, you'd find a solid waste management system like what we built. The question is, so now if I want...
You built it, but these people had it longer. The students had it longer.
We had done that.
Okay.
Now, going to Mbarara University means every student, there is at least a group of students thinking the same. My question is, how many of those systems have you seen deployed in Kampala or Uganda?
Nowhere else.
You will tell me you've not seen any.
I couldn't have imagined that's even a possibility. They take it away and...
Exactly. We need to understand. There is understanding the problem. Why is that happening? Why do we have all this? There is a stakeholder engagement. Before you get into building a system, was that a problem worth solving? It could have been. What we thought was causing the problem, was it the cause?
I'm finding it hard to follow. So I'm right there where you were continuously going to Mbarara University with this technology already in Kampala.
The point is, this solution is built, but not deployed anywhere. That happens to several applications built the university to fulfill the requirement of getting a degree. But understanding what should happen before you come up with a solution was the problem. So if we followed the process of ideation and getting into building the right solution together, there is what we call human-centered design. Building together with these people, we would have solved. And there is actually a solution that came up and was quite unique and working. When you get into human-centered design, to have people understand before you come up with a solution, you're working together with the users so that you come up with a solid solution.
That's something you identify happening today as opposed to before.
Exactly. That is one component. The other component is developers skills ABCD we learned from university. Then you come to the industry and it's completely different. Now, that led to building communities to help people learn. Can we build solutions? Then there are so many emerging technologies coming up. Can we introduce them within the communities so that by the time you get out of the university, you know where to go. You can easily be employed because you have mastered it. In the university, they're going to give you just so much, and it's more theory. And then we say, we can turn all these to having these students learn the right skills which are required in the industry. And then
self-employed.
Yes, self-employment. Innovations and technologies blend with the industry. When you get to the work environment, how is it going to look in terms of your level of skills, experience that you desire, and all that? So, innovations, the technology, then put us in a good place. Now, to 2019, there was a survey done by Andela. Andela closed their office.
Unfortunately.
Andela did the survey, and you would see that, first of all, when you look at the number of skilled developers, now the developer ecosystem within Uganda, about 80% are junior developers. Meaning people who are advanced are no longer within the ecosystem. That tells you there are many interested in learning coming up to take on the what? Now the job market within Uganda should be, now you'll find that other percentage, the 20% where the senior developers are working for countries abroad. Either they're doing online remote jobs, or they have actually been taken away by those countries.
I'll confess, in my 9 to 5, when we hire developers, we actually get them from India or Brazil, and they'll charge, say, for a website or for a project that's probably worth $700 US. Ugandan wants to charge $1,000 US, but the quality of work. So what makes us what makes our market have junior developers?
Yeah, so the market is now, it starts from what I shared at first.
The
But
brain drain?
So you just need to Google and see what it takes, how much a developer in those countries are paid. Way higher than what you see in Uganda. A number of the companies that exist within Uganda are actually outsourcing developers. Now, the big number of junior developers is because they have not seen where they can get employed. There are so many starters. How many of them are consumed? But also the quality of the developers that we get out of the universities. So the quality speaks to you having a developer, and then they are actually junior developers. They do not have the skills required to build what you want. That means it needs to have started from way back.
Yes.
Why the university? What are your engagements? When I left, the things I learned around code started when I was out. The focus in the university is more to have my degree.
Yes.
There are so many things you have to learn. It's not only the coding, there are several other things. From year one, they're teaching you how do you use a computer and things like that. By the time you get out, it's different. We have encouraged people. So like I mentioned, I also lead the Google developer groups for Kampala. At the moment, the focus is on cloud technologies. Having people learn different skills, what is required to be in a work environment, how do you deliver, what skills are needed, if you can code, what is your level of experience with code.
Yes.
We had an interview recently to have developers work on a certain project. There were I can mention two developers who happened to be student club leads in the university. One had just finished university. The other was in his final year at the university. We interviewed about 25 developers. Those two stood out.
Yeah.
Those two stood out because they started way back. And we decided to say, let's focus on the developers who are, have 5 years and above, 5 years of experience and above. The others started doing their code in isolation. We could see a lot of isolation in what people are building.
Yes.
The technologies they're using are outdated. Their work ethics are completely,
Yeah.
So we say that was a true testament of what you would see from a person embedded within these communities, working in teams, building, helping others learn. There is a lot more to receive. So
absolutely. I like that you're the champion of building communities, especially within the
Thank you.
Seeing your work with SoulTech, being able to mentor, being able to dedicate your time to these universities far and wide, like you already mentioned, is no mean feat. Some people take it for granted, but we shouldn't. And the passion you are delivering this conversation with is inspirational. SoulTech can be a complicated subject, right? Now, I wonder from where you sit, you are continuing to build communities. Even right after this conversation, you're going somewhere else to empower young people. What are the opportunities there that you foresee in developing human-centered design, especially to help Uganda as an economy develop?
So when you look at the opportunities, if you speak about Uganda, you see systems have been built, IT solutions people have come up with. It starts with us. What do we see?
We have problems.
You're going to hear that there are cases of road accidents happening every now and then.
Seem to reduce.
Yes, it is, but so it's just an example. That would be an area of focus. What are the things we see around us?
Yes.
You see, when you look at medicine, look at what this doctor, Professor, was it Professor One?
Yes.
The one who came up with COVID. Yeah. He saw an opportunity and said, why don't we get into this? Now, Uganda, there are several challenges we face. Yeah. And one thing, when we begin to think about help, when people are coming up with tech solutions and all that, one thing we tell them is to, do not look at what people have built. And then you say, maybe we cannot achieve this. Sit down and focus on building. When you work with people, there are solutions which have been built. I've actually been a judge on several competitions and also a mentor on those competitions, both local and globally. Some people say, so many people building this, then we're going to say, so many of those solutions are out there, they are not working. I gave you an example of what we did at the university. Someone would say, but there are so many solutions that people have built and they're not coming out. There is a reason as to why they're not coming out. So let's look at opportunities based on the problems we see around us and think, how can we solve these problems? That's how we begin to think about solutions and build applications based on those. Recently, you know how many newspapers I've bought? Since I've really not been buying newspapers. On 1st May, that was a Labor Day.
Yes.
Is it Labor Day?
Yeah.
So I landed in some hotel. And you know how you get to a hotel and there are newspapers. And so 900 youth are looking for jobs. They've already been out there. Some of them have spent, say, 5 years without getting jobs. I asked them, where can I get this newspaper? Because I needed to have it.
Yes.
And I think there are so many unemployed people, but how many jobs? I keep telling the people I mentor, how many jobs do we have in Uganda? Can you think about innovations? When you look at SoulTech, we have 2 wings where we're looking at, first of all, the academy, where the developers learn. Then the binary garage. The binary garage now looks at helping innovation.
Yes.
How do we turn these ideas into business? Opportunities lie around the challenges we face every day. What do we want to see? Can we begin to build? People fear. When thinking of, okay, I'll come up with this startup and I will not get the funding. There are things where you do not actually need the funding to start. There is one thing that I've also learned. I happened to have one of the students join a session I was running some time back. From the story of the first developer student club that became the global winner, and the second one, now another session happened in another university. I see this student in my session and I'm like, but you belong to another university, why are you here? He told me, I need to know how the thing is done, because the last time we had a session with you, we went for some African competition and we won.
Yes.
Now that's the second Google developer groups on campus. He told me there seems to be some magic.
Yes.
Because when this session is run somewhere, we win. Muni University came top. They were the global winners. The fear is that when I have my solution, the challenge is going to be now around the funding. Where do I get the money to build this startup? We also have different challenges. We also need to take care of ourselves. And a living, beginning to build a startup is going to be a problem.
Just
is that fear?
Context. What kind of solutions is he talking about? Let's break it down. Give us a practical some students in the academy have developed and do you think are successful?
I want to talk about people who have come up with real solutions, and I've mentioned some of them. When I talked about our solid waste management system, which did not see the light of day. The people decided to work with the real users, the real people facing the challenge, came up with an app called Your Waste. What was happening is, this app, when you have your bin at home, you simply notify the garbage collectors to come and pick you up.
Sounds like a rich people's problem.
But you see, the charges are not really high. Look at what you have at the moment. There are many things you need to look at. What is the market looking like? Who is your target user? You are able to charge according to what would suit them. It may be a rich people problem, but I don't think really a rich people problem, because if you're to look at, let's get to people who are renting different places. I mean, there are always these people who come to, whether you're renting, you may not actually be renting, but you can be looking at, I mean, you have your home. I've seen rented places. Garbage management.
You have maintenance fee where
some people could pay 30,000 monthly. How much are you going to pay for this garbage to be collected? Yes, there is 30,000. And how much are you paying to use the app? It will be really little. You won't even compare to what you're paying to the garbage collector. The charges are really high.
So what is the bigger picture? That we have a cleaner city, and that innovation. I can think Ugandans who can easily have their trash outside the gate for the KCCA guys to come and pick them up.
So those are health hazards. Imagine you put your garbage out and then it rains, the water is flowing. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. One thing people need to understand is that while you build a solution, what you need to understand is that it must be solving a painful problem. You have a problem, and the end result of that problem must be painful. It is only paid for when I feel the pain and I'm willing to pay for it.
That's true.
So I would speak more around IT solutions and that kind of stuff. You can apply that in solutions which are not technology related. So when we talk about ideation, it cuts across, but technology will always stand out. Think of a simple solution, and when it gets out there, you're going to have several opportunities of funding. I don't want to lose the picture of the fear people have. The moment you have a very good pitch, having a good pitch means solving a real problem. The problem is worth solving. The solution is a unique one. It does not mean that it's not something that has been worked on before, but why would I leave a solution that already exists and then come to your solution? That is what people are going to pay for. The uniqueness of that solution and solving a problem. The moment you start, you'll get funding.
And from where you sit, you mentioned the closed. What is the recommendation you would give, or if you had the opportunity to make a change to help you guys operate better, what would it be?
There are things related to, first of all, startup policy. The government is going to tell you in terms of taxation. I think they had a waiver on people who are starting. I heard about that recently. That is one thing. But the other thing is, we need to give developers an opportunity to showcase what they have built. And we support them where we feel they have not made it. Now, the idea of outsourcing, I know when you talk about people who are coming up with, for example, let's look at a bank. These are people dealing with people's money. There are certain risks that you don't want to put the customer's money at a risk. Then there are those solutions. Let's say you have a team working on a solution. If there is a challenge with this, now the issue is usually around the loss that can be, the risks involved. It can have a big impact on a business. There is always a place to prove people are working, doing the right thing. I'm not going to say it's a good thing. You see what happened to Facebook? Where the government came and said, now we can... Closing Facebook, for example, would encourage local innovations. Can we support local talent? But if you ask me, was the Facebook thing good or bad? It was definitely bad, because you have not empowered the developers to build their own, but then you're saying, let's shut down this. It could have been more than supporting.
Some guests on the podcast argued that was a marketplace for young women, not just innovators.
What are the alternatives you're offering to the Ugandans before you shut down Facebook? What are what the business people, the business community, the young people trying to make a living on those platforms that you're coming up and putting it off? Can we encourage developers in Uganda to build solutions in that line when it has, we now know we have our innovation that will support the business community? Then we can say bye-bye to Facebook. It should support if we want to interact with the international community.
Uganda doesn't operate in a bubble.
Exactly. So policies which support innovations, the local talent would be a good place to start.
So I think I spoke with, also here on the podcast, there were developers, but they mentioned something that I thought was brilliant, to have government source talent or hire talent, as opposed to because they are one of the biggest employers in this country. So if they can say a big project like this, we get only Ugandan developers to work on this project, as opposed to outsourcing talent from India or Canada or wherever, and then support local talent.
Maybe someone will say, yes, that is a good thing, but we've looked for these developers and we can't find them.
No, but if they've gone through SoulTech and you've supported them, conceptualize, getting them ready for the market.
That is the point. supporting.
What you're empowering the next generation of developers. By the time they get into the market, they know what to do and they're market fit.
People who have gone through our programs, we have prioritized them in terms of employment. When people come to us looking for developers, and we get to our pool of the people who have been trained, they do a brilliant good job. One time we had someone who put out a LinkedIn invitation to all this kind of, sourcing, looking for developers, and they ask people to apply. Everyone will apply. Someone will tell you, this is what happens. A junior developer will tell you, I'm an advanced developer, I'm an expert in ABCD. And we had the same conversation when we had Mandela leaving, because they came in through community. I think they thought they did it. A few stakeholders, they felt accountable to some communities. I happened to be one of those that were invited to go for, we had a breakfast, meeting, and they were explaining to us why they closed.
Why did they close?
So if you're to look at the same things that I've talked about, you're looking for developers, but it's a lot of hard work. Remember, these guys have clients in very serious organizations. Google is one of their clients. You find Microsoft, they need people who deliver. The model that Andela took, sourcing every person to come and start training them from scratch, they're not going to meet the standards to require to deliver. I love that they wanted to build community and empower them. It will take quite a long time and resources to deliver on that.
Start them young.
So,
start them young.
Exactly. Young does not mean really you have to get to nursery school. When you look at our system, someone begins to pick interest. I may not take so much interest in someone who is still in high school and they have not really gotten they do not know what direction they want to take. There is that person who is joining the university and they know this is where I want to be. There is that person who is already in the university and they know this is a field I'm going to focus on. Those are the people we want to pick up. I've met many people who say, we had a program and one of the participants, some of them doing water engineering, someone is a journalist, and I said, this is it's a coding program. Why are you interested? So one of them, I'm going to just pick an example of this lady who told me, she's getting to the university to do water engineering, but that is the parents' course. Because your parents have gone through a certain field, they want you to take the same. They do not know there are better opportunities there.
Things have changed.
She did not like that. And that was the reason she was joining. She was in love with code. She wanted to build, and this girl has moved miles with coding. A lot needs to be done. Can we empower the Ugandans to get to where they want to be?
We have the very last question we ask every guest that comes onto the podcast. Are you ready for that question? What is it going to take for Uganda to achieve that middle class economy?
What is it going to take for us to achieve that? It starts with understanding your people. From government to private sector. This is private sector. I understand my assignment. It's our work to let the government understand this works. You need to come and ask me about success stories, how we have moved from one level to another. How many people have come out of these programs? Someone sends me an email and tells me I became a Google developer expert from your program. What we did, we called the Cloud Mentorship Program. One of the engineers started from that program. Is now a Google Cloud developer expert. For you to get to that level, it also comes with empowering communities. We need to let everyone speak the same language, understand what we are doing, but also to get the developers understand what they need to do to get there. Several programs have been supported. I appreciate what we have seen with some of these organizations, the MasterCard Foundation, the likes of NSSF, coming up to empower people in this field. When they come to support, you're helping us create a pool.
I thought you meant pool like so many people.
So if you talk about a pool, that's a small, you're probably thinking of a small group. But we want to have a big, I would be very excited to see the numbers we have, the 80. I think the recent survey that we did was putting the number of developers
Yeah.
at 78%. That was a survey done by the Innovation Village.
78% of what?
Developers, junior developers in the ecosystem.
So 78% junior developers in Uganda.
Yes. The other percentage, they've left the country, they're doing their... So if we can we want to do a survey.
But what is the, so for example, compared to, what's the normal comparative? What's the percentage of developers in a country? What is normal to have senior developers in terms?
Now, Uganda, if you look at Rwanda is small. If you look at their ecosystem, it's small in terms of the number of developers. I may not get the numbers right now.
Kenya?
But
who is bigger?
Kenya is bigger, way bigger. And that's why you see companies like Google. Google is based in sub-Saharan Africa. Nigeria would be number one, followed by Nairobi. Google is in all those countries. These companies go to those countries because they see developers, people who can. The moment we understand that, getting to that place, trust me, you are going to see the likes of the Google. You know, Google used to have an office in Uganda. It was more of a product development office. Microsoft, back in 2013, 2014, brought in gadgets to support developers in Uganda. They got so disappointed, bringing in a lot of resources, and yet the developers they would not see a number of deployments on their store. They withdrew. The same thing applies to Google. Look at Kenya, Nigeria. I want to focus on cities like Lagos, Nairobi, Kampala. They are now in sub-Saharan Africa. In terms of development of the tech ecosystem, Uganda, if you ask me, you may do statistics, but I see Uganda is very close to those countries. We need to do a few things. They support. Rwanda is heavily supporting their technologists. I cannot be surprised if within a very short time we see them springing up.
With senior developers or junior developers?
With senior developers. At the moment, still young, but the investment the government is putting to support those, it's quite huge.
That's amazing. You have a lot of insights, Solomon. I'm afraid we could go on and on about it. I couldn't stop writing all the insights.
Take me for coffee.
Indeed, at times I need to pay because it's quite amazing how much insights you have and how you also are willing to share with the listener.
A lot we have not talked about.
So for the listener now who wants to follow up with you, where can they find you?
Reaching us is the easiest thing you can have. Just even getting to social media, you'll find our contacts. We are not saying, hey, you need to have an appointment, have all those details. It may be to some extent for management, but there is a forum where you can get online and reach out. Check on from Twitter to LinkedIn.
What's the name?
I'm talking about the social media. So you can look at
for Simon here.
So SoulTech is also online. Now our activities are mostly in the universities. Whichever place you're located, you can find the nearest around you. We have a lot of work around Kerry University. So when you get to the university, it's not open to only the students. It's open to the public. We've been doing something in MOOBS, the Innovation Center in MOOBS. We do a lot with the Innovation Village.
We have one in Ginger.
Yes, so when you look at the Innovation Village, there's Ginger, Barara, Gulu, and Central. Innovation Village now moved to Design Hub in Bugolobi. At the moment, we are setting up what we're calling the binary garage, a central place for developers to come. When that comes up, we shall let people know. Mostly we have been different hubs through those partnerships.
Good luck. I think you're onto something big. It's a challenge, but with the passion you have, I think it's going to be a wonderful ride.
A lot is coming up. I know guys are going to be really excited.
Good luck with it.
Look for Binary Garage Solutions and the Academy.
Thank you. This was
Now, people want to be part of the initiatives. We have a mailing list where we basically have everyone from all the activities we have done within the country. There is a central place for everyone. We have several opportunities to be a part of.
Thank you. Thank you for the insights. I hope the patriot listening can bet on yourself. get into one of these, find this information and see how you can develop yourself, but also develop Uganda in the long run. Thank you so much, Solomon.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm even more excited knowing we're going to impact more lives.